there is an element of theatre to question time and to matters of public importance. And I'm sure I'm not alone when we can recall emails or calls where the public wished there was a little bit less theatre. And the very title of what we are discussing here, a matter of public importance. After the day-to-day stresses of cost of living, there is no more important matter to the public right now than housing. No more. We hear it from, and I hear it from, grandparents who are worried that their children and grandchildren won't have the opportunities that they had. And they'll say, I know I've done well, I own my house, I have one or two or more investment properties. Something's got to change. And I hear that again and again. On social media, young people will often express themselves through satire and parody. For those of you on X, I ask you to go and look at the account Reserve Bank of Property. It's humorous, but it's cutting. On YouTube, there is a person called Biko Konstantinos who speaks about this every few days with passion and concern. And they do so because the extent of the problem is so bad. The average Australian earns $95,000 a year. The median income is $65,000. And to put that on professions that take a lot of education and practice that we care about, nurses start off at $62,000 in Victoria, police on $75,000, teachers on $77,000. We value them and care for them. But right now, looking at my home state of Victoria, my home city of Melbourne, for them to save a deposit of 20%, it's going to take them 21 years. 21 years. That's the median. And then, if assuming they do that, or they are fortunate enough to come from a family where their mum and dad or grandparents can bankroll them, and not everyone has that opportunity, the disconnect between those wages that they earn, those average and median wages, means in the entirety of the suburbs of Melbourne, there's 321, on the average income, they can afford 3 of the median house price levels of the 321 suburbs. So you take all the prices on realestate.com or domain.com and you pick the middle of that suburb. That price, they can afford only 3 of the 321 suburbs. Units, 21. But then let's go to the median income. That's the average, which includes billionaires, and we've heard a lot about billionaires this week. On the median salary, the median income, so halfway through an average, you pick 10 Victorians, pick halfway, they can afford 0 houses. 0 out of the 321 suburbs. There's no home for them. On units, 0. And some may say, well, who buys a house on their own? Who buys a unit on their own? They're usually part of a couple, they're part of a household. Well, we have that data. On the median household income, in the median price in the 321 suburbs of Melbourne, that household can afford 0 houses and 15 of the suburbs for a unit. That's as good as it gets. That's where we are right now. And what does that mean? That means young Australians are giving up on the very dream that their parents and their grandparents perhaps took for granted, the very dream that drives migrants to move heaven and earth to come here, including, like my family and so many in this chamber. And what will it mean for generations to come? It will mean Australia will be a place that is less about hard work and intellect and taking risk, and more about whether you're born into the right family, whether you are from a landowning family. That's not the sort of Australia people move heaven and earth to come to. That's not the sort of Australia we pride ourselves on. And no government is perfect. No government is perfect, and there's a lot of whataboutism in this debate. But we have to start by recognising the scale of the problem. It matters to Australians of all generations, and it must matter to us here in this place.